Thanks very much. Yeah, this is so nice. So nice to see people that I know in the audience and read with some really great people as well. The first poem we're going to read is a new one. And it's about when I was really young, I lived in Portugal, and I was sort of thinking about whether that had any influence on me and things that I like, basically. And there are a couple of used like Portuguese words, but they're like really childish words, which is sort of the only things that I really knew. So just to tell you, one is onde está Wally, which means where's Wally? There's Rua Sésamo, which is Sesame Street, and also Portuguese, who is Big Bird's Portuguese cousin. Yeah. It was really weird that Portugal decided to not dub Sesame Street, but just create their own version of it, complete with like the sign was Rua Sésamo was like in the kind of Portuguese tiled sign, and Portuguese was like kind of cooler than Big Bird because he had like a rainbow sort of Mohican and like a rainbow tail feathered. And I was talking to a Portuguese person about this who remembered it as well. And apparently he was kind of like turned into like a gay icon, which was quite cool. Yeah. Mention of hoopoes, which are like some birds. Okay. Portugal, I will always love you somewhere, but where? In how many heartbeats, how many hits of a magic bracelet? Surely the fizzy orange and pigs' heads at the supermarket made their mark. A significance of chickens and chlorinated hair, perhaps. Portugal, onde está Wally? Something has gone missing, walking to the hidden chapel in my Disney swimming costume, the sound of hoopoes through the rocky shade, oh hot terracotta, hot corrugated iron, hot concrete scraping my knees at lunchtime, the hoofed carcasses hanging by buckets and brooms, high waves that sweep me out with shark eggs and surfers, oh, words I will never say again. Pulpish, Rua Sésamo, profound iodine running like blood from a rope tire. Oh, Barbie stuffed into a school shoe, is this nostalgia? And the bull rings and the road accidents in the morning. Do I still have palm trees and a fear of rabies operating unseen like a tick? Stray dogs chasing me, and does the sand still burn when I run? When England boils down to a VHS of Banana Man. Of course I preferred the overgrown balcony and water shortages, feet balancing on a dusty pony or blow-up crocodile, the weekly song of the knife sharpener. I'm sure it was deluges, a kind of sexiness with missing teeth in gilded mirrors. Oh, rubbish heap of cats, oh, heterochromatic Siamese, oh, lobster tanks singing Guns and Roses, you all have something to do with it. Portugal, I search you out in camcorded channels, in ombre solaire, the aircon of the dairy aisle. Let's sing the sound of happy birthday one more time. Thanks. So the second poem I'm going to read is sort of a bit of a sound poem, I guess. It also has a Sesame Street reference in it, which I realised today. I'm just preoccupied by it. And it's based on the advertising campaign that I think was earlier this summer of Are You Beach Body Ready, which was, you know, a big controversy about that, and that just seemed to be everywhere that you went in London. Was that big poster. So I just felt like I kept seeing that phrase everywhere. And this poem is like every line is a line that sounds like "Are you beach body ready?" but it doesn't really make any sense. Point being, it's not a kind of a nonsensical phrase, really, because as somebody said, it's like it's not whether I'm ready for the beach. It's like, is the beach ready for me? So yeah, every line sounds like "Are you beach body ready?" Are you beach body ready? Can you reach Bonnie Tyler? Are you rich buddies, really? Let her eat Wendy burgers. Artist bitch bodice wedding. Protein rich Gordon Ramsay. Drive the ditch buggy steady. Awful bleach bawdy lady. See the meat bunny prairie. After birth Botticelli. Ask Lou Reed sobbing loudly. Afrobeats oddly rare now? Are you Bert Ernie mainly? How is Nietzsche modern theory? Throw up each Bloody Mary. Ah, the peach party ended. The third poem I'm going to read is probably reading it because our organiser Olivia likes it, which is probably a good reason to read a poem. And also I wrote it for a poetry night that Kaio organised a while back. He's going to be reading the second half, called The Discomfort Zone, where they choose a subject for each poet who's writing that's kind of like outside of your comfort zone. They gave me the subject of Nancy Spungen, this kind of punk icon who went out with Sid Vicious and allegedly killed by her. But I think it wasn't Kyle who gave me the subject, it was Roddy Lumsden. And I think actually he didn't realise that it wasn't so much out of my comfort zone, because when I was a kid I really liked punk, so I was like, yes, well, yeah, you know, okay, like pretending that I didn't know anything about it. But yeah, this is just sort of like written like a teenage girl letter to Nancy Spungen. Nancy Spungen, you tell me to skip biology and rattle the rails of a bondage shop, flash the security cameras at the petrol station, leave my number in the pocket of a man in a pub. My favourite colour is blood, and I leave my new bras out for the moths. Trash my doll's house, piss in the black bushes when I'm too drunk to walk. You make me shoplift nail polish, then chip it off through English. Nancy Spungen, does your heart smell of Tipex? I think mine does. A boy writes on me in thick marker. I find your cold eyes in fag burns. You're there when I crawl across the carpet at a party. I dream I throw up your hair and it tastes of scrambled eggs. Nancy Spungen, your voice is ripped tartan. My throat is a dark alley. I like scissors and I want to make holes in the world. I'm hunting for decay and someone who knows how to drive. So I'm going to just read two more poems, and they're part of a sequence that I wrote that were like reimagining of Ovid's Metamorphoses. And there's a Serpentine Galleries this weekend is doing like a transformation marathon. There's lots of events on Saturday, and then on Sunday they're doing like an all-day radio channel where I'm like reading these two poems as well as like the Ovid translation that kind of like inspired them. But I mean, you don't have to listen to that because you're in now, but maybe listen to some other people. Yeah, so the first one is called Scylla. It's like Scylla, which is a Greek name, not like Scylla Black. And it's a story of when the Circe witch was jealous of Scylla because Circe's kind of guy, who was like a sea god, fancied this other woman, Scylla, so like Circe being a witch turned her into a sea monster. And I've reimagined it with two kind of backpackers on a Thai beach, and like in the original myth, like Scylla is like a sea monster with like dogs in her kind of lower half, and yeah, use the word Praeser Canarios, which is like a type of dog. So Scylla. And sorry, it's from Scylla's perspective. I know she dosed me, a similar name to my own, like Saoirse, circle, seashell, searching. Older with veined hitchhiker arms, batik pants, matted hair, a kind of amulet against the bones of her chest. My final night at that beach, she brought me a pina colada, called all men pigs, threw her tarot pack across the bamboo tables, agitating small clusters of travellers like mosquitoes near Deet. Her man approached me the same as before, fish noodle breath and scaly hands. I ran to the cool sand and swam in my shorts like the Thai girls who told me of box jellyfish. A nauseous disturbance near my body, turbulent sea water, foaming teeth of thick dogs rising, Praeser Canarios. I saw their co-joined brutality, a barking part of me, my own terrifying brain. The second poem, the last poem I'm going to read, is story of Narcissus and Echo, which I'm sure people know. Narcissus was famous for not being in love with anybody apart from when he saw his own reflection in the pool, and he was like, oh, who is that guy? and Echo, there's a nymph who is really in love with him, and she was cursed to only repeat the last words that someone had said. So I really imagined it as like a sort of guy on Instagram who's taking a lot of selfies and on Twitter, and Echo is somebody that sort of reposting me as number one fan. And yeah, it's all from Narcissus' perspective. I can't remember when she started because I am like Ryan Gosling in The Notebook, or maybe River Phoenix. I know she art'd my Air Jordans, my kale shake, my blue cheese and Kobe beef, my head in the morning, the Egyptian cotton rumpled, and I'm squinting, infinite stars, hearts over and over. I'm too busy to keep track. The one where a white puppy is looking good against my sweater, when there is a halo of light by the pool and I have a look like hay. That picture on the ice rink in my North Face and ski hat, you'll be thinking that you want me in a mirror, in a mirror, in a mirror. The girl was reposting every time, etc., etc. The one where I'm chilling by the fountain and the stone is the shape of a woman and glassy buildings are reflecting everything. Thumbs up always. And the ghost of the star, the ghost of the heart disappearing. Her name escapes me. One time I checked her profile and it was a replica of mine. Sometimes I think I'm not the guy you see in the photos, you know? I'm like two identical brothers staring each other out. A contest forever. Twins, but he is famous. Twins, but he is the beautiful one. Thanks.